Commanders fans, I just want to say happy holidays to everybody. I hope everybody has a good time with their family tomorrow and this whole weekend, of course. Just forgive me a little bit because I was out and about, so I was watching the game on my phone. I was a little, distracted running around today, but I didn't miss much. I did catch up and watch the entire game. I did watch the entire game. I didn't like Ron Rivera going for a fourth and goal. I wasn't a big fan of it. I know you want to be aggressive and riverboat Ron, but with this team, I was like, just take the points. Take the points. The fourth one where Taylor didn't get it, I actually wasn't mad at it, but a quarterback sneak with Taylor, you feel like you should get it, and they were an inch short. It's just tough with Ron's decision making. It really is. And then the onside kick early, wasn't a fan of that. And Joey Sly kicks it 2 yards down the field. That was just awful. That was embarrassing. And I thought he did an onside kick too quick because we're down 20-30. There's 5 minutes to go. You can get a stop. The defense was getting cooked by George Kittle. Yes, they were. The reverse to number 3, was it Raymond McLeod or something like that? Yeah, that was terrible. But you know what? They were bending and not breaking. They actually got stops in the red zone. There were a couple times after the pick 6, the defense got a stop. After the fumble, the defense held them to a field goal. So the defense, it was a bend don't break kind of defense today. They still were getting torched. Don't get me wrong. But they did give the offense some chances to make a comeback. I'll give the defense some of that. It was a bad day for the defense. Yes, George Kittle running wide open down the middle of the field. That was awful. George Kittle had 120 yards, and I said that 2 touchdowns today. He had a heck of a day. He had a heck of a day today. And he just looked. They weren't able to stop him. He was just wide open. But Ron Rivera's decision making once again, it's just a failure. Now Heineke, he had some good throws today, 13 for 18, 166, and then he had some really bad throws. The pick 6 was bad. He also almost had another interception in the first half too. So once again, he had a couple turnover-worthy plays, and then the fumbles. The fumbles, I'm not going to say they were necessarily his fault, but it's like time and time we see this again, and time again we see this offensive line get beat. And Nick Bosa's an All-Pro; he's a future Hall of Famer. So I'm not all the way down on Heineke. It is what it is on that part. But I just knew Ron, he wanted to put Wentz in. And Jake Glazer came out with a report before the game saying that if Heineke doesn't play well, they will be ready to bench him and put Carson Wentz in the game. That's what Ron did. And Heineke slammed his helmet down where Schweitzer was pissed off. They said they were yelling at Ron or something. That's one report that I saw from some beat reporters saying that Schweitzer was pissed off about it too. But I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. But I did predict in my preview video, I was like, Heineke's going to finish the game. I knew after I finished my video, I was like, you know what? I'm probably wrong about that. He's not going to finish this game. I think, I'm not going to say it was a winnable game, but we definitely shot ourselves in the foot with the turnovers and Ron Rivera's decision-making, putting tight ends on Nick Bosa. This is just a recipe for disaster. The onside kick, like I said, that was just awful. I do have my notes here. Like I said, I did watch the game, but it was like kind of quick. I was like fast-forwarding through. On the bright side, the Lions lost. On the bright side, the Seahawks lost. If the Packers lose tomorrow to the Miami Dolphins, I think we can clinch next week. And the Browns didn't look good today either. So it was a good day. And then the Cowboys won today too. They barely beat Gardner Minshew. So they could rest their starters on that last game of the year. I don't want them to rest their starters because I want to beat Dak. I really do. But if we want to make the playoffs, then of course it would be better if Cooper, and even if Cooper Rush starts. We lost to Cooper Rush, so I can't even say that with confidence. Today we didn't look like a playoff team. We just didn't. Our wide receivers looked darn good. Derek Forrest had a nice interception. Chase Young looked good. He looked fast. He looked explosive. He played smart. They tried to make a screen pass to Christian McCaffrey. Chase Young stayed back. He was disciplined. I like that. He had a nice chase down on Christian McCaffrey as well, stopping the run. He also had a batted pass. I thought he played with energy, so I like what he did today. I thought there was some positive plays from Chase Young today. I'll go through my notes and then I'll wrap it up here. Jahan Dotson had a great game today. He did have one drop in the beginning. I was not happy about that. Then he had a bobble pass where he dropped it and then he caught it again on third down. Heineke made some good throws on third down to start off the game. He did. It was like a 3rd and 10 he converted, a 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 6 he converted. We were throwing the ball up and down the field, but of course the 4th and 1, the 4th and goal by Ron Rivera, he puts in Antonio Gibson instead of Brian Robinson. I don't get that. I don't know why Scott Turner did that, but it is what it is. Scott Turner's just awful. Antonio Gibson didn't do a great job with kick returning today too. I thought he definitely should have just took a knee instead of bringing the ball out a couple times. David Mayo had a big stop on 4th down. We had a big stop. We had a delayed game on a punt. That was terrible. I already said Heineke almost had an interception on third down. Deshaun Harris had a helmet to helmet on special teams. Deron Payne had a sack. We had a defensive hold. Charvarius Ward had a defensive holding penalty on Terry McLaurin, and we got a first down off of that. Heineke to Jahan Dotson. I already talked about that. That was a good pass. And then he had a touchdown pass to Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson, he's a dog. 7 touchdowns on the year. He's a dog. And had a touchdown pass to Terry McLaurin. Ron Rivera dumb for going for it on 4th and 1. I was not a big fan of that. I know he's Riverboat Ron, or I'm sorry, the goal line. I was just like, bro, just take the points. It's the Niners, man. Just take any points you can get. If you actually have a lead on them, I think they're not a team. They're the way they play like us. They want to get a lead on you, and when they get a lead on you, that's when they play better. But when they're playing from behind, we haven't seen Brock Purdy play from behind like that yet. You know, the Niners usually have a lead where they can run the football with McCaffrey, throw the ball to Kittle. We haven't seen Brock Purdy be in a situation where he has to throw the ball where he has to come from behind. So I thought we definitely let them off the hook there by going for a 4th and goal and not getting it. The reverse touchdown to was it Ray McLeod, number 3. That was awful. It looked like Deebo Samuel out there. Of course, Kyle Shanahan, he was going to get us with that and dupe us with that. We had a holding on Wes Schweitzer that stopped the Jahan Dotson catch. Jennings had a drop, and Derek Force got the interception. That was a good interception by Derek Force. Jahan Dotson got the touchdown later on that. It was a beautiful play by Scott Turner before the half. So it was 7-7 at halftime. It was a close game. It was a tie game. Then we lost George Kittle in coverage. He was wide open. Ben St. Juice got beat by Brandon Ayuk. Now, Ben St. Juice, I don't think he's 100%. Brandon Ayuk is a quick, speedy receiver, so that was a tough matchup for him today. It was. The 4th and 1, I wasn't actually mad at that, but I do think, of course, in hindsight, you're like, yeah, just punt the ball. Just punt the ball. The defense was bending and not breaking. They were at least holding them to a field goal at times because there was a lot of times Heineke had the 2 fumbles, right? He had a fumble and then he had a pick six. No, I'm sorry. He had the fumble and then they called the pick six back and they called him down. And the defense actually stopped them for field goals. So they were bending and not breaking. So the defense, they were getting torched today, but they did step up in big moments. Like when Wentz came in, there was somewhat of an opportunity to come back. I knew we weren't going to come back and win, but there were some opportunities to come back. Like if we kicked the field goal, instead of it being 20-30, it would have been 23-30 or 24-30 instead of it being 20-30. So that's just mental mistakes by Ron Rivera that just come back to bite us in the butt. Just like last week with the silly 2-point conversion that he did that got called an offensive pass interference, where the Giants, it would have been 20-13, where we just tie it up instead of it being 20-12 at the end of the game. George Kittle had another easy touchdown. It was a run after catch. Terry McLaurin had a big catch. That was a huge catch by Terry. That was a big catch in double coverage, and he had a touchdown after that. Rashad Wildgoose had a terrible unnecessary roughness. I already talked about Chase Young having a big play to stop Christian McCaffrey on the screen pass. Chase Young with a tip pass and Chase Young on the run play. Nick Bosa sack fumble on Taylor. The defense had a big stop after the fumble. We talked about that. Held into a field goal. The defense gets another stop in the red zone. Ben St. Juice had a sack. Joey Slye with the onside kick was terrible. That was just awful. The onside kick was too early, like I said before, and then Joey Slye kicking it for 2 yards. That was just awful. It really was. It was awful. We definitely missed Cam Crow today. When I put in the Prize Picks, I put that up on Twitter in my community tab. I said George Kittle was going to get over 44.5 yards. I knew that was going to hit because no Cam Curl, and George Kittle's he's been a big part of the offense when Deebo Samuel has not been there. Now, Brian Robinson, he did get over 44 yards. Jahan Dotson got way over 28 yards. He had a good day today. But look, the way we're looking right now, we don't look like a playoff team. I'm going to keep it real and be honest with you guys. Now, look, the Browns, they're an inconsistent team. They did not look good today. Deshaun Watson didn't look good today. So we have a legitimate chance to beat them at home. Like I said, the Cowboys, who knows? Their defense didn't look good today either. So, hey, maybe we can move the football. But Carson Wentz is going to be named the starter. Let's just keep it real. There's really not much to say about this game. It's the same old stuff. Scott Turner not being a good offensive coordinator. Ron Rivera being outcoached. Not making good decisions. It's the same old song. It's the same old song that we saw from last week, honestly. Or throughout the year. Even though we've been able to manage and win games. We don't look like we don't. That's the Niners are a legitimate playoff team. They can put any quarterback in there and still be successful. They have Kyle Shanahan, DeMeco Ryans, Nick Bosa, McCaffrey, Kittle, Ayuk, Armstead, Greenlaw, Fred Warner. They have a good football team. Their offensive line has been Trent Williams. They just have a better offensive line. Our offensive line is not good. They're just not. Next season we have to revamp this offensive line. We got to figure something out at the quarterback position. Now, can Carson Wentz win 2 games? I think he can. I do. I'm not the biggest Carson Wentz supporter. I don't dislike him, but he can barely move. But now when he got in there was a nice pass to Curtis Samuel for the touchdown. The little flip play, you just got to get the ball out quick. With this offensive line, you have to speed up that clock, Carson. You cannot sit back and take your time. You have to speed up the clock. That's the thing. It's awful. Sometimes he may get happy feet. He's just too slow. But he's got to speed up that clock. He's got to get the ball out quick. You got to be able to run the football against the Browns next week for sure. So, and the Cowboys next week too. That's the only way we can win these games, by running the football and being smart and not turn the football over. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, man. That's all I got, man, for today, man. Like I said, with the playoff scenario, it worked out. Lions lost to the Panthers. They got blown out. The Seahawks lost to the Chiefs. That worked out. We just need the Packers, to lose tomorrow for sure. I was going to look at the last couple games, but I'll probably do that tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but I'll probably do that on Tuesday. Maybe do a studs and duds. There's really not a point to do a studs and duds after this game, but maybe doing that and just looking at the playoff scenarios. And then I know Ron's going to announce that Carson's going to be the starter next week. I already know it's going to happen. So that's just not it's not big news at all. It's going to happen. He's going to put Carson in there. You're going to get your money's worth, and then also I don't think we have to give him the second round pick anymore because he just hasn't played enough snaps either, or a percentage of the snaps. All right, y'all. So everybody enjoy your Christmas, man. Happy holidays. Hope everybody stay safe out there, man. Thank you for rocking with me this year. It's been a good year. 2022 has been a good year. Hope it's been a good year for you guys. Hails Commanders. Peace.